The key things I've noticed is managers coming to me in my role, ask me what to do when they've noticed a change in someone's demeanour or in their performance. And I think a key thing has got to be managers getting the skills and the confidence just to be able to approach people. So, I mean, what tips can you give managers on starting a conversation with team members about mental health issues?
Certainly there are some steps that managers can take to initiate that discussion. And firstly, what I'd say is to arrange a confidential discussion. So find a confidential location. Express that mental health is important to you and that it's important to the organisation. It's key to let that team member know that their reputation or their professional advancement is not at stake or under threat in any way. It's important to normalise mental health problems, particularly in the legal field, where there is such high pressure to perform and perfectionistic thinking and high stress levels. And discuss ways with your team member that you can help them. What can you do and what can the organisation do to assist them? And provide some referral sources such as Law Care, Beyond Blue, Lifeline. So managers also need to be aware that it may take more than one approach, it may take many for someone to feel comfortable enough to disclose that they are experiencing a difficulty.
So it's just not enough for the manager to sort of make one approach and maybe get a response and leave it at that. You're suggesting they should follow up.
Absolutely.
What sort of things should they do? How do they do that?
It's important that you initiate some kind of follow-up to see that there's been some progress made. What you need to be prepared for as a manager is that there may have been little progress made since your initial discussion. You need to arm yourself with some behavioural observations that you've made about the individual. So are they still tending to struggle in certain areas and are they doing well in other areas? And ask them open-ended questions to gather information on how they're coping currently. Stay in the loop in terms of what outside sources of help they're seeking, and if they're not seeking that kind of help from outside of the organisation, inform them with some strategies of where they can seek that help externally. Also follow up on any agreed actions that you've organised to take or that they've agreed to take as well. And provide feedback to them. Tell them where you've noticed that they're doing well, but certainly those open-ended questions to gather that data on how they're coping.
So it's clear it's very important once you've made that initial approach that you keep that contact and you try and keep things moving forward and supporting the person as they try and resolve the issues.
That's absolutely right.
More than one attempt to commence a conversation will be required, and you need to be resilient in that regard. But you also need to be respectful of the person. You've got to accede to the signs that you get. I don't want to talk about this, but I will talk about it with someone else, thanks. There's all sorts of variations, combinations, permutations. Attention, support, and a level of care that you would otherwise not think of as being necessary.